No, I had it, and then it went away. Okay. What's up, all you beep booping hacker mans out there? Welcome back to Erico Blueberry. It's an unassuming Destiny podcast. My name, as ever, is chillybin.
Ah, a Meckii.
Yes.
All of the time.
We're here. It's a new season. We missed last week because I was all sorts of out of town. I went to 2 different cities in 5 days, and that's not including the one that I live in. So we're here now. We missed a week, but we're back with a new season and a whole bunch of very interesting things going on.
Yeah.
So, real quick notes. Season 19. That's this one. Season of the Seraph. Because Rasputin is back, baby.
Raspoutine is back.
Yes, well, kind of. We haven't seen him yet, but we'll get to that. Clovis Bray is kind of back.
He's, around.
Yes. Speaking of people that are back, Anna Bray. Also, now I know that canonically it's pronounced Anna and not Anna, even though it's written with one N. That confused me. Out here slaying with that asymmetrical haircut.
Also something else to consider, just with the confusing thing. Why does Anna Bray have an American accent, but Elsie has an English one? But they're apparently sisters.
They're robots. At some point, one of them took a software update that set their region to EN-UK or GB.
Like if you've ever accidentally changed the region of your keyboard, you can't get it to go back.
And it's like, why? This is how I spelled this word. What do you mean it's wrong? That's how I spell
keyboard
color.
layout's different.
Yeah. I've done that sometimes on Windows. Like I've installed more than just my normal English. To like when I was doing, I need to honestly get back to this, but when I was trying to teach myself Māori, New Zealand Māori, I have the Māori language installed in Windows, and the keyboard shortcut Windows and space, I believe it is, lets you toggle between installed languages. Sometimes I would accidentally hit that shortcut, and then it would do weird things. But it allows me to type the characters they use with the macrons above the vowels to indicate long vowels.
I have the same thing with Finnish on my keyboard.
Yeah. Anyway, Anna's back. And the last person who's back, it's Osiris. Our other gay dad is back. And if you needed any more confirmation that they are in fact gay dads, there was a cutscene that we saw at the end of last season, and then they played it again at the beginning of the season, where how to word this? They essentially distilled Nezarec's jam into a tea made of darkness energy and gave it to Osiris while he was slumbering, and he woke up, drank of this dark liquid, and now he's back. Like, now is he possessed by Nezarec instead of the Witch Queen? I don't know what's happening.
He's back and gay, baby.
Yeah, but in that
gayer than ever.
Yeah, in that animated cutscene, it kind of ends with them depicting the two of them
doing a heckin' smooch.
Osiris and Saint 14 having a big old smooch. So if you're offended by gay people in fucking weird space magic shooter games, this is now definitely the sign that you should fuck off. This is not for you, my guy.
Yeah. One of my favorite artists who makes Destiny memes is back, terrorizing people.
Great.
She's the same one who, when we found out that Aramis had a female partner, made this gay crab is ruining my video games meme. I've seen her patrolling the internet with these gay dads are ruining my video games, or this gay robot is ruining my video game.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know if they've ever really depicted anyone kissing in Destiny, but also to depict a human man kissing an exo face because Saint had taken his helmet off.
That was a fucking cheese grater.
Yeah, just you're gonna need some lip balm or something once you're done there.
Turns into a Jinji Ito fucking body horror.
Or is he just like slapping a prosthetic mouth on there so that it feels wet.
Just a little kiss.
A wet robot dad.
Saint 14 has a heating function, surely.
Yeah, but it needs a little bit of moisture in there. This is really overanalyzing like 8 frames of an animation.
I think my favorite thing that came out of that was people going, "Oh, they're gay," and I'm like, "Homie, it's not being subtle.
This has been 2 years of lore.
Osiris core fucking time and space apart trying to find Saint.
Yo, where's Daddy? I don't know. Fuck time. This ain't
just kissing the homie good morning. Like this is
sucking the homie's dick good morning.
Yeah. Gave him the Nez Cafe.
Yes.
I need to Photoshop that. I keep making that joke. I need to make it.
Instead of beans, it's all the little jars.
Yeah.
That'd be great. The big tin that you only ever see in like office kitchens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NEZ, Nez Cafe.
The very Australia/New Zealand relevant joke, I think. I don't know how far around the world Nez Cafe got. Maybe the UK would have it. They drink shitty coffee. Anyway.
Yeah, but when you're hungover, the dark roast espresso Nez Cafe, like, yes.
Okay.
So good.
Maybe I'll try it. My go-to is usually just the $9 tub of Powerade powder, and then I'll just make a bottle of it and drink that over the course of a couple of hours, and maybe feel better. Yeah, and maybe I feel better after that.
My go-to used to be soda water with gamer subs in it.
Interesting.
So it was almost like a soft drink, and it was sweet, but it had that kick of like, because gamer subs, not G Fuel. Because gamer subs is a neurotropic, so it's high in vitamin B, vitamin C, and vitamin D. Rather than just drinking straight caffeine. So I always plug gamer subs. I always found that gamer subs really helped with my hangovers.
Weird.
Yeah, just nurse an ice cold like soda water.
Do gamers
subs?
Do gamers just across the board get shit faced, and that's what they've formulated it for?
Imagine.
Yeah. So that we never told you this, but actually, we know that gamers like to drink.
Looking at the people they sponsor, yeah, they're aware.
Great.
They know we're shitheads.
So, week 1, season of the Seraph. Story-wise, kind of kicks off with them going, hey, we jammed Rasputin into an engram just to like keep him safe. They also pronounce engram as engram, and I don't know how I feel about them taking such bold steps in canonicizing certain punctuations. So engram, but yeah, he's like in there, and they kind of end up jamming it inside the Clovis Bray giant head, but then they jam that inside an exo frame that is a regular size, which is now in the helm. No, they put Clovis in the exo frame, and they're basically trying to like open Rasputin out of the engram safely. It's something.
Yeah, I think they from memory, they had to get Clovis safety because Zebu Wrath was Clovis.
That's right. Yes, I forgot about all that. Zebu Wrath is trying to break in and hack some shit.
Yeah. So and basically like Leo, I really don't want to fucking do because he's pretentious shit. But we're gonna have my granddad in on this one because he's, you know, the mastermind when it comes to AI.
Robot man.
Down to do Chevons or whatever it was.
Fontaine
God.
Chevons. Du fromage.
Yeah, fromage. And you know, God like judgment and whatnot. And then she was like, there you go, Granddad, help me with this. And then she was like, there you go, Granddad, can you help with this? And he was just being a dickhead.
In typical Clovis fashion.
Yeah. And then he's all complaining when he need to work if I can leave.
Yeah. You know what my first thought was? Go talk to Banshee. It's the same dude.
Yeah.
He's way chiller.
Can we put Clovis and Banshee? So can you imagine Clovis whinging, but in Banshee's like gravelly fucking...
Yeah.
Hanging out with Norman Reedus.
Yeah, he wouldn't be whinging. It'd just be like, yeah, okay, I'll get to work. I'll put Telesto down and stop fucking with it, and I'll crack open this red engram.
So yeah, you find out there are... Oh, what are they called? This creepy fucking hunt.
Oh, the like heist... Wait.
They're the spikes that you usually find in Nightmare Hunts. Cryptoliths. Hate them. Hate the way they move.
And the way that they like sink back down to the ground while rotating.
No. I hate it. It kind of reminds me of something from Children of the Corn. Don't like it. And then you're kind of like, oh, holy shit, Siva Wrath might be here. Weird. And then you go to the big head and you take the annoying big brain out of the big head and you put it in the little head.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of it, right? And the funniest part about all of that to me is where they've established the exoframe in the wing and the helm. They basically put it on the end of a boom arm, like you've got your microphone on. But
so funny.
But it's like basically it's waist up with no arms.
No arms, no legs, like just a torso, hips, and a head.
But like medical white exo, like Bray Exoscience white exoframe.
With a fun little cape.
With a cloak.
A modesty cape.
Yeah, but it's like it's on like an angle, got like an asymmetrical look going. It's the season of the asymmetrical fucking drip. But he kind of like goes up and then goes down and then sweeps in forward. So he just like comes into your face.
It's so goofy.
So aggressive. And like if you walk forward and backwards, he just like goes through that animation. The funniest thing was realizing that the exoframe model has collision, so I stood on top of it and teabagged him because fuck clover spray.
Toxic.
I flossed him. I flossed on his head.
Polished his dome with your nuts.
I did. But yeah, so like it's week 1. It's pretty early, but I'm pretty interested to see one, where the story goes, but also like how things build towards Lightfall, because this is the last season before we hit that. And we've done the new dungeon. We'll talk about that, and I think there's some hints in there. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting couple of months, I feel like, as we start to work towards that and maybe start to hear more about Neptune and what is actually going on there and why are we going there, and what did because Crow went there. What did he find? Neomuna. All of that.
Yeah, and then also just, it's going to be really interesting to see how Rasputin plays a part in this. Like if he's just going to be on the defensive, like he's going to help defend Earth from the onslaught.
He hasn't been around since, the Warmind DLC, right? Like it was kind of around there where, because Stephen Fry voiced it.
The reception AI, basically.
Like the actual character of Rasputin hasn't. Oh, well, that was the. I don't know. It's all confusing. This shit is weird. Stephen Fry's not
because Rasputin has like a robotic, and he speaks like a jumbled Russian.
Yes. I don't know.
And then I think from memory, Stephen Fry was more like the reception AI.
Yeah.
Like he was more like
Stephen Fry doing a Russian accent. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Get an actual
Russian. He's delightful, but no, thank you.
Can we get like? No, I can't think of anyone. I can't think of any like Russian actors because I don't watch Russian cinema or anything like that. I'm sure there's someone out there that would do it pretty well.
So it'll be interesting to see what he plays a part in, because we haven't had much to do with Rasputin since they sunset Mars.
Yeah, like escalation.
There used to be those planetary, escalation protocols and stuff like that, and then also like Warmind builds were clutch.
Yeah, and what was it? The big the big public event in the tower where the Almighty was there and it got blown up and everyone waited around for like 8 hours for nothing to happen. That was Rasputin shooting it down. That I think might have been the last time we actually saw Rasputin do anything of note.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are back to do with Rasputin and Mars, the tiny little fucking hedrons that play music, the resonant stems, whatever they are, those little nerds are back. They're a fun little puzzle to go and find where they are when you combine the stems, and it gives you like 4 words that narrow down roughly where it is. It'll be like lunar dot archer dot crevasse, I think was one I got, and then there was another word after that, but it was like, okay, go to the moon, go to Archer's line, basically find that crack that runs through the ground, and it's somewhere in there. The closer you get, you hear the music, and like that, I find that's kind of fun.
For those who might have joined after that big DLC was kind of wiped, it's very, very similar to the pirate riddles that we had last season.
Pirate riddles. Oh yeah.
Yeah, where you'd get the like keywords, 4 words. Yeah.
The most annoying one of those I've had so far, I think I've done like half a dozen. Do you remember when we first launched Beyond Light and we load into Europa and there's this huge trek that you do before you get into that open expanse of ice? Mm-hmm. Literally there at the initial spawn point. So you have to load in and then go all the way back to the spot. You can't use your Sparrow. It takes so long. And I was like, surely they wouldn't put it back there once I like hunted around where I thought it would be. And I was like, oh no, it is there.
It's here.
So shit. Then I got there. I had a little chuckle when I found it. I was like, yeah, that's actually pretty good. Like, you got me. The rest of them are like, oh yeah, they're in relatively central locations. There was one that was like, so Eris on the moon, her little setup, basically just over the ledge behind her, there's a spot you can stand, and that's where one of them was. And I have never, ever seen that ledge before. Because why would you go there?
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, those little guys are back. They're pretty fun. I will say, the gear this season rules. The guns look sick as hell. They have some pretty good rolls and perks and characteristics. The armor's pretty dope. Like, it's reminiscent of the old, like, Warmind Seraph gear. It's all very good. I'm stoked.
Yeah, because that stuff is called, like, Avatar of the something.
Yeah, Avatar
Seraph
Rasputin
something.
or some... Yeah, there's a whole bunch of cool-sounding names in there. It's so sick.
There's a couple of different aesthetics going this season that I am 100%. Warmind's Avatar.
That's it. Yeah. And then obviously each class has its own like flavor of that, but yeah, it just all looks very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, this seasonal activity, before we move on from sort of week 1 stuff, we've got Heist Battlegrounds, I believe it's called, right?
Something like that, yeah.
What are we actually heisting? What are we stealing? Is it like Warmind bits? Is it bits of Rasputin?
I think so.
We're basically just getting to it before Ziva or Wrath.
Yeah, like we're preventing a heist.
Yeah, well, we're heisting faster than they are, I think, is what we're actually doing. But they're pretty fun. Like, I don't know, they seem fun. Like, yes, it's called Battlegrounds, but it's different to the other Battlegrounds we've had. Like... Yeah,
it's almost like a nightmare. It's a nightmare hunt. Yeah, really.
Like, they're pretty quick.
You got the creepy spires, cryptoliths, and then fucking lasers.
Oh yeah, those fuck. Yeah, so those towers.
Rasputin's got lasers.
Those towers that are just like in some of those areas, and like as soon as you're in a line of sight, it gives you like a 15-second countdown, and then one hits you, just like orbital strike, get wrecked, get out of here.
Yeah,
so intense.
They were, yeah. When you go on that first mission and Anna's like, hey, oh shit, lasers. I'm like, oh goddamn, Clovis has lasers now.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Put that shit on a shank. Just sharks with freaking laser beams on their head. But there was like a weekly mission that you do after you work through the quest, and you load into this like forest area, and there's like 6 of these laser towers just fucking beaming at you as you're trying to like work your way into the facility. It's so good. Had to like hide behind trees and duck and weave, and what a game. What a time.
Silly game.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think that's all I've really picked up from like the week 1 kind of quest and story bits.
Yeah. Moment of Triumph shirt has been announced. It's very nice looking.
Yes, it is also it is just called Moments of Triumph. Moments of Triumph.
Moments of Triumph, like 2023.
Yeah, so it's the MMXXII title /seal. It's a whole bunch of shit in there. Just because I played the game a bunch, I had automatically done like 14 of them. The shirt looks pretty sick. I might actually get this one. I've never got one of the Moments shirts because I always thought they were just like the gold on the dark print was usually just like a bit much for me, but this is like more of a subtle gold print, black shirt. Might be nice to get that, put my name on it, put the extra $5 in.
I have one of the first ones that they did. The first time they did it, I think I got that's somewhere in my house. And then I got the one. I think it was 2021 because 2020 because I missed out on last year's and I didn't really like the aesthetic of last year's anyway. Last year's was like the bright gold on the bright blue, like the navy, the royal blue with like the bright gold. The year before that, it was more of like a muted blue with like a more of a copper gold, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But the design on this year's is really pretty.
It's very cool. There's also within the seal requirements, there's some triumph which involves doing like I think dungeon challenges or something, but it's like it's basically raid and dungeon challenges, and it gives you some other customization option for the Moments shirt, and like I haven't seen what that is, but I'm like kind of want to find out. I want to see if I can get that before I order the shirt and see if it's like actually something that's sick as hell. Like do they put
extra
a
symbols on the arm
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yeah.
Because usually the Moments of Triumphs, your name is on the sleeve.
Well, you got to pay $5 to do that.
Yeah, but like the positioning of it is usually on the sleeve, so which I enjoy. It's subtle.
Yeah, I think I might have to have a look at some of those triumphs and see just how annoying it would be to do. Or it's probably one of those ones that I've already halfway done just from like having done raids and stuff a bunch.
Yeah.
So who knows?
They've also got a Moments of Triumph patch.
Yes.
Which has inspired me to start a like Destiny themed jacket.
Oh, right. Because I've done a few patches, right?
Yeah. So I think I might start collecting the patches. Because like a Destiny themed jacket, I think like a nice black or grey denim jacket covered in Destiny patches would be fun.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick.
Just a line of Moment of Triumph patches across the top or like down the side or down the sleeve or something.
Put some of the pins on the front of the jacket.
Yeah.
Because some of those pins are huge.
I got spikes, like a spike customization kit.
Yes. Oh, you could do that like that look that I was running around the 30th anniversary stuff where it's like punk rock Saint 14 with the denim jacket ornament. Yeah, that stuff is sick.
Yeah.
Yes, good. Speaking of new stuff, it's all new stuff. New dungeon dropped today, and we've done it.
We did it in about 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, it's hard to know for sure because the Bungie API is currently down, so I can't like check it anywhere to see exactly what our time was. But it was a couple hours. It's called.
We started at 12:30 your time. And we finished.
Oh, no, we started closer to 1. I didn't get on until like 12:45.
Oh yeah. So closer to 1, and we finished, I think, just before 3.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of hours. I think Duality dropped a little later in the season, right?
Yeah.
Because it was kind of related to the seasonal storyline and a bit, so that had to develop before it came out. This is like week 1. Here's a new dungeon, and we felt it. It was like that final encounter. It was recommended 1590. I was at about like 1584 because I haven't had enough time to like get artifact levels and boost the gear up. And it hurt.
I hit 1585 during the dungeon and I was getting walloped.
So spoilers, I guess, for Spire of the Watcher, the new dungeon. If you haven't done it, skip ahead a bit. I don't know how much. Maybe no, I'm not going to commit to figuring out a timestamp. Just fucking skip forward. Why is my mic in the shot? I've only just realized that's poor production. I got it. So Spire of the Watcher. We go back to Mars. I think I got an email announcing the dungeon was out, and it mentioned like the time shifted at like areas of Mars. That's where this is. This tower. It's essentially like this giant Seraph tower that we break into, climb, and then go back down again, and that's the dungeon. Easy. It's just traversal.
That's it.
No,
we just lie to everyone. That's it. That's all. You climb in. It's a 2-hour jumping puzzle.
Yeah, it's all kind of centered around this one mechanic of getting. Now, what was it? Was Arctrician. So electrician, but arctrician. You're basically hunting these minotaurs that when you kill, they drop a circle of arc that gives you arctrition, which lasts for 30 seconds. You're going to you're essentially trying to connect circuits of multiple panels. You go and find the first panel in the line. You hit that, and then you trace the wire to the next one. You hit that one, and you keep going all the way to the end. Every encounter, I think, was 4 of them that you had to find and do that way. What I kind of worked out, I think 2 encounters in was every time you're hitting one of those panels and completing one of the lines, the time increases. So I was doing them so fast at one point, I got up to 38 seconds, and you start with 30. So I was getting extra seconds every time I hit a panel, and then I had enough time to just go and do another whole line. And I think in one of them I was just I did 3 of them just on my own, because I had enough time, and I was just doing laps.
It was the one where the encounter at the top of the tower.
Yeah.
You were just...
Yeah, I was just doing laps, just pinging panels, just submachine gun spraying. So you only have to hit them with 1 bullet. So there was one point, Alex, who was with us, he was in a room trying to find the panel to shoot. I had missed a shot against a goblin and hit the panel he was trying to find, and it went off, and we had to go do some stuff. But anyway, getting ahead of myself. It's all Vex. It's... What is it? The faction from Garden of Salvation, which is Soul something. I'm forgetting the word.
Soul Division.
Soul Divisive, I think.
Yeah. Soul Divisive.
So they've returned. They are... I'm not sure. I'm not 100% clear on the lore of what's happening here, because I was too focused on getting the dungeon done and figuring out how it works. But anyway, it's all Vex.
It looks... They were, from memory, they were trying to... They're not sure why exactly they were there, but they were trying to find something and then do something to the reactor in the tower.
Yeah, there's some lore that you get from...
There's old age technology
Golden
in
Age,
there.
yeah.
Golden Age technology in there. So they're not sure if they were looking for something specific, they weren't they were were they looking for something Golden Age to help whatever their plans, whether it is to help the witness or...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is the dungeon is bookended by going to talk to Cora. She gives you a mission, you go do the dungeon, you come back, she gives you a bunch of lore, you give it a lore dump. But yeah, it's Soul Divisive. It seems like they're doing this because the witness is getting them to, so the witness is kind of pulling the strings of this Vex faction. And what the theory that is starting to form in my mind is this will link into what happens in Neptune for Lightfall. This will be some indication of why the witness is going there. Maybe they're looking for something there, and what they're trying to find within this dungeon is part of that. I need to, I don't know, find some lore, watch a video or something, just to actually understand what's happening in this dungeon in terms of impact to the lore. But it seems like a neat little story insert.
Give him 48 hours, I'm sure Mylin or Bife will have a lore video up.
And also just to do some more runs, because there were definitely voice lines that were happening that I missed because we were trying to figure out what to do next and figure out where to go. So I can probably pick up some of it myself. So we're climbing up this tower as we're going. There's different encounters that are making us do combat while solving these wire puzzles. We then find red wires instead of yellow ones, which all have to be hit within a certain amount of time to do something. There's spinning blades of death. There were parts of this that reminded me very much of the platforming sections of Scourge of the Past, with the spinning blades and climbing up some of the sections. It's very, very reminiscent of that. Very nostalgic.
One of the enemies is nostalgic of Salvation too. Garden.
Yeah, because that's the Vex faction that is all throughout that raid.
Yeah.
The other thing,
good old fancy fish hydro back.
Gross. The other thing it kind of reminded me of was some of the sections of, is it 0 Hour, the Outbreak Perfected mission? Some of those climbing through air vents and jumping down fans and all that shit. I think that is also where some of that I've seen before. But it was all strung together very well. Like, it looked sick as hell. Just very cool environments.
The gear drop aesthetic is sick as hell too. Holy shit.
If you don't like pirates but you like cowboys, boy, is now the time for you.
The season of rootin' tootin' Rasputin is upon us.
It actually is. Like, I think I need to get some of the armor from this dungeon and like actually try to put a look together with it, because the Titan helmet is basically just a robot head with a big old cowboy hat and a Tex Machina logo on the front.
I want to do, because Seraph's and Warmind stuff is back.
Yeah.
I want to do a cowboy warlock or a cowboy titan, because I have a titan, with a Warmind build.
A Warmind's still good though. I feel like they dropped off in a big way.
Fuck around and find out with all the new Seraph weapons. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know if the new ones work the same way the old ones did, is the only thing.
But imagine a rootin' tootin' Rasputin build.
That'd be pretty good. That would be very good. Also, some of the
cowboy with an outback.
Some of the guns
yes,
out of
very
it too.
nice.
I dropped it's like an Arc Scout rifle that is basically Dead Man's Tale, because it's got like the origin perk for Tex Machina is based around hip fire. It's like rapid hit, and I can't look at dim because the API is down, but it was like rapid hit and I think high impact reserves or something like that. So like, I feel like that's a good role for a scout.
Unfortunately, fortunately, depending on how you look at it, my run today was mostly armor drops. I think I just dropped a long arm, which I think is the
scout. That's the
scout.
Yeah.
Didn't get a chance to look at its stats though, but my run today was mostly, I think I walked away with gauntlets, jacket, and I dropped long arm a couple of times.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. There's also an exotic bow that drops out of the dungeon. I've only looked at it in collections. Just reading how its perks operate, I need to see it. Like, something about like guardian rings. I don't know what the fuck it's happening, but it looks mental.
I'm excited to drop it because this season I made it a personal goal of mine to use bows more. Bows and shotguns are like, in terms of my rotation of weapons, are like super underutilized. So I've made it a goal of mine this season to utilize bows more.
Yeah.
But then I've also started utilizing fusion rifles a lot more.
Okay.
Which has been nice because one of the Seraph weapons this season is a trace rifle.
Yes.
And it's a very good. I've been using it in Crucible.
Okay.
Just
yeah.
It's like a tiny chaos reach.
Yeah, that's all trace rifles are that.
But I don't use trace or fusion rifles often. Like,
so fusion rifles, you can get some weird perk combinations. Like, I've got one with the perk Successful Warm Up is really good on a fusion rifle, because if you get a kill, it reduces the charge time a whole bunch, so you can just cycle shots way faster. Bows can have
Taipan has that, I think.
Yeah, bows can have it as well, but it basically just like increases your reload speed, but it's one shot, so it's not.
Yeah.
It feels way better on a fusion rifle. But yeah, dungeon is cool. It feels like once we get above the power, demand, it'll be pretty quick to run it.
It'll be a quick one to cycle.
Yeah, because like I said, those panels that you have to shoot, you can do them from range because you only need to hit them with like one round when you've got Arctrician. So once you learn where they are, you can kind of just like zip around the map and ping them off.
To me, it feels like one of those dungeons that once you've run it a few times, it becomes the kind of dungeon that you can use as like the chat room with the gun attached to it kind of meta.
Yeah.
Where you can just kind of cruise through it.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good day getting that done. I love doing a dungeon day one. We got probably most of the way through it before we had to consult any kind of guide. Like it did a pretty good job of kind of explaining itself. It was only when we got to the one on the top with the
fancy fish.
The fancy fish. It's basically...
I can't remember his name.
No,
I just remember him as the fancy goldfish.
But it was
Hydra.
basically the same boss mechanic as the... I forget the name of it, but in Garden of Salvation, there's like the baseball diamond arena, and it's where you shoot the eyes and then you chase him back down the alleyway and shooting him in the middle. It's basically that. And the only reason we looked at a guide is because we were like, are we doing something wrong because we're not getting enough damage on the boss? And we weren't. We just weren't using the right weapons to get good damage numbers. So I switched to like Whisper of the Worm, and we switched to linear fusion rifles. And then it was like, oh yeah, this is how this is supposed to go.
I jumped off Nova onto Chaos Reach so I could deliver more direct damage, which came in clutch too.
Yeah. And then after that we didn't look at any guide, I think.
No.
We just kind of worked it out. So yeah, like that's always pleasing to me, is when you can do something like a dungeon or a raid mechanic in the extreme case of like just going in, trying to figure out what's happening, and then the game actually like kind of giving you enough information that you get there on your own. That's always pretty good.
I think what helped as well, it'll be, don't get me wrong, for new lights it'll be really easy to figure out, but I think what helped was that it was a callback as well.
A little bit, yeah.
So kind of we knew the basis of what to do, it was just our damage output.
Oh yeah,
wasn't big enough.
In that fight, yeah.
Yeah, so that fight was a callback. So immediately as soon as we saw its behaviors and we went through the first damage phase, we're like, oh, we know this. Like, it's just, we just weren't popping certain aspects off it quick enough to be able to load damage into it. Yeah. So,
and then
that was nice.
Yeah.
Nice little callback.
Yeah, I will enjoy doing it when we can kind of like stomp it a little more.
I think I've got a couple more artifact levels, and then maybe 2 or 3 more pinnacles, and I should be just above that 1590.
This season we can get to gear level 1590 before you even include the artifacts. So like we'll get there pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know, we're at like 1583, 1585, that kind of range. So it's not far off. It'll just that last fight was brutal. We're getting like one hit stomp killed. Yeah, just a big wyvern just coming in doing a big step.
And then there's fucking the exploding.
Oh, the supplicants. Yeah.
Supplicants. Fuck those guys.
Yeah,
because they will just like. They will just look at you and decide they want you dead. So you'll be running from them and they'll just keep chasing you. And you're like, go away.
Yeah, and like thinking back to Vault of Glass where they show up in the sort of last encounters. I mean, they were in Garden of Salvation as well. But when you're above the power level, you can just take them out with a submachine gun at range and then they're not close enough to hurt you. But this, I was like, full clip of SMG and I'm like most of the way to killing a couple. But then they just rush you while you're reloading and you can't get away fast enough.
Yeah, I was like piling Gnawing Hunger like ammo into them, and then just one thing I ended up doing was I would corral them into a spot and then throw a solar grenade into them and then just fire auto rifle.
Like a void vortex grenade to be really good against them, to like pull them in and then cause that explosion to take a few of them out. Or the Titan Void throwing shield where it kind of like ricochets between stuff and makes them all volatile. That would be pretty handy there, actually.
I think that'd be fine. Like once we're above power level, we won't need well that badly.
Yeah, I think it still has a use because we're basically stationary dealing damage as the boss walks towards us. So like it's still pretty useful. Like if you do a well div combo, you know, the classic, that would have actually made that boss fight so much better.
I had div on me today.
Yeah.
I could have.
I think Well was doing enough.
Next run, we'll test it and see.
Because I switched to Thunder Crash. I was running Thunderlord and had we had good numbers. It was just
Alex was weakening it.
Yes,
tethering, weakening. Yeah.
Like good combos.
Loading
good combos.
Xeno ammo into its.
Good combos. We were just like 5 or more under the power level, which is where it starts to hurt.
Loading Xenophage into its stupid stomach.
Yes. Yeah, if I could have got up close with Tractor Cannon, I would have, but that thing was just like, No, stomp. Go by. Go away.
Does a little jumpy.
No
So
good.
funny. It does this little jump.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's a fantastic dungeon. I had a really good
dungeon.
time. I very, very rarely get to join in on first, like, day one runs for dungeons. You guys usually have your rotation pretty set.
Yeah, we do have a group of 3 that has like a bit of a tradition of doing them first out of our clan. But one of them was unavailable this week, so we're like, we still want to get it done, and it was all good. But yeah, I think the last 2 or 3 we've done with that group of 3, so it'd be good to.
But it works.
Get that
it
running.
Works that way because the 3 of you who do day one runs are all very good Sherpas.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that people with strong Sherpering abilities and strong teaching ability do get that dungeon under their belt so that they can quickly cycle other people who are interested.
I mean, it's a combination of that and us having done it a few times. We've got experience with the process of figuring a dungeon out when there's like not yet a good enough guide to look at or maps even. The amount of times we've made MS Paint maps on day one and then used those for months before someone made something better.
My fucking Vault of Glass map is still in the raid guide.
Is it?
With my Microsoft Blue paint numbering system. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With the Microsoft Paint numbering system.
I mean, the Deepstone Crypt one is also very good.
I love a good Microsoft Paint numbering system.
So, like, copy and paste this image, and then I just need to put text on here. I'm drawing numbers with my mouse. It's not good. Don't. It's graphic design. Leave me alone.
One of the boys hates the way I draw 6s because I do the looped top.
Oh, no. Okay, we need to move on. So that's Spy of the Watcher. We've done it. Go do it. It's fun. The only other stuff, I think... Well, there's new Crucible stuff. I've barely looked at it.
I've done my placement.
I haven't done mine. I've done like 2 matches, and then they were both Rift, and then I was like, I don't want to do this right now. And they've actually come out and said, we've fixed it. Rift was showing up too much in that playlist.
Yeah.
So I'll go back and do that.
So I did a few... and I got Rift a few times, and then I took a break for a couple of days, and they announced that they were rebalancing it.
Yeah.
And then I went back in for my last, I think it's 7 placement matches.
You got to do 7, to do the quest.
Went back in for my last 4, and I honestly got like 1 Rift and then a couple of other game modes.
Yeah, because, okay, here's the thing. This is not a new take. Rift in 6v6, fine. 3v3 Rift is kind of arse.
It's a mess, yeah.
Like, we literally, the last one I played, sorry, we went half the match before anyone scored, like the time limit, and it was just boring. Nothing happened.
Yeah, I had...
Like, I don't want to be too negative about it, but, like, I'm not a fan of Rift. I don't understand why this is in the rotation.
It also just doesn't work on some maps.
Yeah.
It's just not fun to play on some of the maps.
Bannerfall?
Yeah.
The one where... I don't know how to describe Bannerfall. We got, like, the doorway. You got the door that's slightly ajar, and then, like, the door above it, and it's symmetrical.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
For Trials, good map.
Sure.
For fucking Rift, no.
Yeah. But it was constantly just like, okay, it's in the middle. It's going, like, forward, back, and just like, okay, like...
Just every 30 seconds, Rift is down.
Yeah,
you're like, I know.
Yeah, that gets
I was the Rift.
Kind of annoying too. But yeah, so the new comp stuff is out. I don't think either of us have maybe done enough of it to get a feel for...
I did my placement matches to get the bounty or whatever it was. Seasonal.
Yeah, and I think that's also how you drop Rose. The hand cannon.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to, and they've had
I
issues
didn't get
with
it.
That. Yeah, well, they've said there's been issues, and anyone who's done their 7, they will be, like, you'll get sent the gun in-game at some point when they fix it. So maybe that's a thing at reset.
But, like, yeah, I did my placements, and I was like, yep, I'm good. I got my little thingy now. I'm good.
Like, the way that they talked about revamping comp and the ladder structure, like, it's something that I want to like. You know, like, I want to get in and play a more competitive version of the Crucible in which I'm matched against people near my skill level so that I can actually improve and go after that. But I haven't done enough of it to know if this is something I'll enjoy. All I know is that I don't like 3-on-3 Rift.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not the best.
Elimination's fine, and whatever the other mode they're using is, which is basically just deathmatch, I think. So yeah, we'll have more to say, I guess, if we fuck around with it more. But I also have a new dredge into guild, and it's bonus gambit next week, so I'll be doing that.
I'll be around to help.
Yes,
as usual.
They also restructured some of the non-comp Crucible playlists, so there's like actually now a quick play playlist, which is Control and Clash, I think. There's still Crucible Labs, which I don't know if that's Zone Control or what this week, but yeah, I gotta fuck around with it more to know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And other than that, the only other thing was there was a little sneaky trailer at the Game Awards. A little bit of Lightfall gameplay, a little bit of tether footage. They showed. I mean, it looks sick. Like some of the
web page has been updated too.
Oh, I need to look at that. But some of the like clips they showed of like abilities, like tether abilities, some of it, and I've just basically finished the God of War Ragnarok story. Some of it looks like attacks that you do in that game with the Blades of Chaos, where it's like spinning around you and doing this whole crazy thing. But I think the thing everybody is talking about is the Thunder Crash tether. So they've shown a lot of like tether being used for traversal, and there's like these nodes that appear throughout the world that you can tether off and swing off and grapple hook and whatever. But what they showed in this trailer was a Titan thunder crashing and someone behind them tethering onto them as they launched and getting pulled forward. That is fucking crazy. And then I saw a clip today where the trains in the Warden of Nothing strike, you can tether onto those. Like,
I feel like the first week of Lightfall are just gonna like the first 24 hours of Lightfall is just gonna be us fucking around,
tether montage clips.
Yeah, just trying to do the dumbest shit with tether, griefing each other with tether. It's very quickly going to devolve into griefing.
Yeah. So one of the responses to that train tether was someone saying, "This isn't even the craziest thing you can tether on." It was one of the devs, and then I messaged in our server in one of the channels. I was like, "Hey, do you think you can tether to a Bleak Watcher?" Because I'm pretty sure they have collision. Like you can shoot them to blow them up. Can you tether off them? Could they be a tether point to swing somewhere? Like, what else can you do?
Dragging a Bleak Watcher around like a pet?
Yeah, what about a Titan throwing shield? Like any projectile, I'm now thinking, can I tether to this? If you fire a rocket, can I tether off that somehow? How accurate can I get with this?
Well, it's...
one thunder crash, and then can you chain people tethered off it? What's happening? What about... raid team, one thunder crash, 5 tethers, just dragging them all forward like
like a parent at the mall with like all of her toddlers on leashes.
Yes.
Like those parents who you see and you're like, you've made some mistakes because you've got 4 kids under 4.
That's it.
You fucked your timing up.
Yeah.
I can't remember if this was on the website previously, but have you noticed that they've explained each class's kind of strand a bit more?
No, I think they might have they might have hinted at parts of it in the initial Lightfall showcase, but
yeah, so it's like much. For example, I'm looking at it at the moment because I'm like, I vaguely remember this update. Warlock is known as the Architect, so this is when you're using strand.
I've not heard this at all.
Yeah, okay. So architects effortlessly manipulate the weave using only their mind, which makes sense because the warlocks are the mystics of all 3 classes.
Yeah, the brain.
From the backline, these telekinetic sorcerers can even twist strand into sentient creatures to do their bidding.
Yo, we're getting summons?
Think like Bleak Watchers, I would say.
Yeah.
Like the turrets.
Like sentient creatures is different to just a stasis turret.
Am I gonna get a little strand kitty?
Yeah, you're gonna get like a little follower, a little minion just running around.
Ew, like in Fucking Diablo.
Yeah. Or how long is it going to be? And like, assuming that assuming that this is some sort of like summon. How long until someone photoshops someone summoning Shrek?
Yes, good.
Or Mike Wazowski.
In the
That's it.
pose.
The one eye.
So hunters are referred to as thread runners.
Oh, fuck off, you edgelords.
Jewel runners. Masters of movement, speed, and grace.
Yeah.
The city is a thread runner's playground as they grasp threads and weave new ones to dart through the air, finding the fastest way between 2 points.
This is going to reinforce some of the worst attitudes.
So they're going to do just little dashies.
Yeah, just running around, like running around with a sword, just being like, zoom, zoom. I've got the power of God and anime on my side.
And then the Titans are called Tyrant.
Okay, that whips.
Untamed and wild,
yes.
Tyrants tear at strand to manifest claws they use to sever their targets from the weave, leaping into harm's way with wild abandon. The line no one crosses is drawn by a tyrant.
Yeah, okay.
So,
yeah, I'm into that.
The Warlock, they show them kind of opening some like weird little portal bullshit.
Pandora's box. What are we doing?
Yeah. Doctor Strange.
Just doing doing jutsu, just little hand symbols.
The thread runners or the hunters have a god damn, it's the knife on the string. In CSGO we call them the butt plug knife.
It's not kunai, that's not the right word.
I think it might be a kunai.
Okay. I thought that was a different form of weapon.
Kunai. Yeah, it looks like a kunai. It looks like a kunai on a strand.
Okay.
So super cool and edgy.
I think that's the thing that I saw that reminded me of God of War, like swinging around in a big circle.
And then the Tyrants just have these, like, the Titans just have these big claws.
They're like Hulk fists.
No, they're like, yeah, it's just like it's like this.
Oh my god.
It's the weirdest shit. It's just like these big piercer kind of.
The behemoth, the stasis titan was just big ice
Super
fists.
Troopers? You know the big bugs in Stormship Troopers?
Starship Troopers?
Starship, that's
Super
it. I've never
Troopers
seen
is
it.
a very different movie.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but I've seen like clips. You know how they've got like those big drill things that they use to like crack open people's skulls?
Yeah.
It looks like those. Okay. It's just a big like crab claw.
Great.
It's like this. No.
Great.
Crab people. And like the Titan looks goofy because he's just standing there all square with these like Mr. Crab
man,
claws.
I need to go look at this website in a minute.
It's the poor Tyrant looks like Titan. I'm gonna get Tyrant and Titan confused. That's all Lightfall.
That's a problem.
The poor Titan just looks. He's like, I'm here.
I got big hands. What's up?
I came too. I'm coming too. So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat that they've defined each class's, I guess, like role within that subclass.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah. It's cool to just get some more info. I doubt we will see much more before Lightfall comes out, other than like teasing stuff that's in it. But in terms of like actually announcing features and things, I don't think we'll see too much more.
I think we'll just get like they did with Witch Queen, where they'll drop a couple more like tiny teaser trailers here and there.
I mean, if anything, I feel like
as part of like events.
What I'd like to see mainly,
and then we'll get a VDoc in February.
Mainly because my memory is bad. What I'd like to see is them reiterating a bunch of stuff from the Lightfall showcase, like all the new social systems and stuff they're bringing in. I want to see a good summary of that, just to be like, hey, remember this? We said this a year ago.
Yeah, like a little video dedicated to each aspect would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And it'd also be really accessible because you can digest it easily. It's in small digestible chunks. Whereas sometimes the VDocs, as exciting as they are, sometimes they feel like an information overload.
Yeah.
And it's like you're getting excited over one aspect and then they're like, oh, and by the way, we're bringing in this. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So
yeah, because they're usually like 15 minutes worth of information.
Yeah, I think a little video dedicated to each new little thing they're bringing in with Lightfall would be a clever thing to do. But it's also not my decision.
Dedicated wham.
dedicated video.
Yeah, good. I think that was kind of the main bits out of that trailer that they showed. It was only like a minute and a half long.
Yeah, it was just a lot of Ayo get excited to do some dumb fucking shit.
And here's some actual like gameplay footage. The other thing I was thinking, like generally stasis lets you create little platforms out of crystals, not ice. Can we tether off that? What if we start running Salvation's grip and just grenade launcher, put some ice up there, and now I can swing off it? Like, what are we doing? Are we Spider-Man?
Fun. Grapple hook bullshit. Let's go.
Yeah. Think of all the weird traversal shit that people already do. Now we've got grapple hooks.
I was watching a streamer today while I was getting ready and waiting for you guys to start the dungeon who was playing Legends of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Okay.
And he was discussing every great game has a grapple hook theory in it.
Right.
Like, Legends of Zelda's have grapple hooks.
Yeah.
The new God of Wars kind of have like a grappling hook system.
Yes, they do.
And then he's like, and now Destiny's bringing out a grapple hook. So, and I was just like, huh?
Yeah.
He said, I'm just listening to him speedrun Majora's Mask, and he was talking about like grappling hook is the best invention gaming has ever had.
That's so fun.
And then he's like, yeah. And then yesterday when I was watching the Game Awards, I saw Destiny 2 is going to have grapple hooks now too. And I was like, Destiny? Huh?
Yeah. The other kind of like angle on this that I saw from a dev at Bungie was, this is a live service game that they've been working on for 5 years now, right? There is stuff that we can play now and will be able to play in Lightfall that has been there since the beginning of it. Imagine trying to add a grapple hook mechanic to shit like that. To just be like, hey, here's this giant game that already exists. Now we're going to give people an entire new movement tool set. Figure that out.
Yeah, like, what's one of the oldest strikes? Fucking Prison of the Elders. Go nuts.
Yeah. Or like Lake of Shadows. Like any of that shit like the EDZ, or Neptune. No, not Nessus, sorry. Any of that stuff. Like
some of the moon shit.
Yeah.
Like,
now there's all this new shit that you have to factor in that
Scarlet Keep,
do.
grapple hook.
Yeah. What can we do there? I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be stupid fun. Like I said, it's only a matter of time before our friend group devolves into just fucking throwing each other off maps.
Yeah.
And
what if we stand opposite each other and tether each other at the same time? We're just going to like smash faces and
tug
die.
Of war.
Smash faces and die.
3-on-3 tug of war. Let's go.
I'm going to put out a grindcore album called Smash Faces and Die.
It's just a tyrant standing on the front awkwardly.
Yeah. Two of them. Just
I run my crap hands.
One's got the stasis ice fists. The other one's got the tether claws, whatever's going on there.
It looks silly. You have to check it out. It's goofy
I'm gonna,
in all the best ways.
Once we're done here, I'm going to go look at the website. I didn't realize it had been updated.
He reminds me of like, at... No one who listens to this goes to metal shows. They'll be very lost. But for those that do, the guys at metal shows who are massive and they're aware that they're massive. So they kind of just stand around awkwardly because they don't want to be in anyone's way and they don't want to hurt anyone. So they kind of just walk around with their hands by their sides.
Yeah.
And they're very like aware of everyone around them. So they'll be like, oh, sorry. And then they'll step behind you, or like someone of my size, they'll be like, can you see? And I'm like, no. And they're like they'll let you in. But they stand like this because they know if they get shoved in the pit, they're going to kill someone.
Yeah.
So they just kind of he looks like that. Okay. He's standing like he doesn't want to hurt anyone in the pit. Like he's just like, I'm aware I'm a large man and I'm trying my best not to be. He's got that energy in the picture.
Bless that man.
Very specific reference, but anyone who goes to metal or hardcore shows knows exactly the guy I'm talking about.
There's parts of that I do because I'm just like 6 foot tall. But I'm not like built, so I don't need to worry about like potentially killing someone. But I'm always conscious of like someone behind me who's shorter, because like sometimes it happens to me. There's people that are taller than me at some of these shows. I'm just like, okay, I get it.
I feel like when you were up here, you got to like witness me trying to navigate a fucking pit.
Yeah, but also like
all 5'1" of me just being like.
But we'd constantly be like, hey, there's a spot over here, and then we'd all kind of just like move over.
Yeah.
was great.
And it worked out well.
Yeah.
Because we ended up next to the lead singer.
Yeah, then Ro Reynolds climbed on a bin in front of us. And
pushes a bin up behind me and yells.
Yo, we could have pantsed him.
No!
No, I'm just saying we were close enough. We could have. And on that note...
used my shoulder to get up on the bin. That's all I needed in life.
Oh, never wash that shoulder.
I've ruined it. No.
All right.
I think that's everything.
That'll do it.
It was a busy week of just lots of little tiny things happening.
Yes. Next week, we've got the Dawning kicking off.
Crimbus!
Yeah, my like company holiday period starts, so I'll have 2 weeks off. And that's great. That's plenty of time to get stuff done.
I don't get leave over Christmas because learning doesn't take time off.
Yeah, but the people learning do, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely do.
Anyway, hit all the buttons on the video or the audio thing.
Preferably the thumbs up one, please. Not all of them.
Hit the thumbs up. Hit the one that says subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell anyone you know that plays Destiny about us. Ask your doctor about Erico Blueberry. Hopefully the API comes back soon so that I can ask the API how quick our dungeon went. We'll find out later. I think they said it's not going to be back until the end of the weekend, so maybe Monday. Yeah. What is fucking this hat? Cool. Maybe we'll be back next week, but we'll see you next time, whenever that might be. Thanks for stopping by.
Hi. Like, comment, and survive.
I like that. Bye.